Okay, first off, we'll have public comment.
So now
So
it's my turn, huh?
give us your name and come up
Oh,
to,
do I have to
come
do
up to the
that? I'm
mic.
already scared out of my wits.
Oh, no, we're easy.
Yeah.
There's nothing to be afraid about.
Yeah. Shall I burst into tears right now?
Yeah.
Okay, my name is Debra Smith, and the reason I'm here is to screech about the Manzanola Landfill. And I tried to catch up with Mr. Baldwin last week, but I couldn't.
Sorry.
So then that's okay. My point is, then I thought, well, maybe it's better to try to catch all of you at once instead of trying to pick you off one at a time.
There you go.
Probably.
You know, so that's why I came here. And I was just wondering, you know, A, why did the Manzanola dump close? And then B, what can we do to get it back open? I know it hasn't closed yet, but I'm hearing all kinds of craziness about why it was closing. And so I thought, well, why not just come and, come to the source and the horse's mouth, whatever, and find out why, and then find out if there anything we can do, because we really need that dump on our end of the county. It is so far to go to Rocky Ford. It's just it'll just be a mess. And I don't know, do I need to shut up and let you guys talk, or do I keep on rattling?
I can tell you why it closed.
Okay, or explain to
Because
you.
it ran out of space. It ran out of,
Dump airspace.
yeah, but I was trying to say that from CDPHE.
State regulated airspace.
Yeah,
Airspace, what do you mean?
well, space. Permitted space is what we ran out of.
We don't have
Surface
any,
space?
we don't have any more room.
Yeah,
to-
there's
Okay.
only so much area that the landfill was allowed to encompass.
Okay,
And so we ran out of that space.
And that has filled up.
Yes.
okay. Well, that's not what I heard at all.
Oh, really? That's it.
Okay,
Yep.
so where else can it be on our end of the county? Is there anywhere else?
You know,
Because Rocky Ford is, like I said, so far away.
it is so expensive and hard to get property for landfills now. They have to be lined with a basically rubber liner that is impervious to water. It can't, no water can escape. Then they pump the water out. It's just very expensive to do that.
So are you saying you can afford it at Rocky Ford, but you can't at Manzanola? Is that what you're telling
We're
me?
saying that that is the one county landfill that we can afford.
So you're closing everything, so it's
That's
just
the
gonna
only
be-
two that we
That's the
have.
only two we have.
Oh, I thought there was only 100 for some reason. Oh,
No,
okay.
there's just Manzanola and the one out south of Rocky Ford.
Yeah. Okay, and so there's no grants or subsidies, or you can't get like the three towns, Manzanola and Fowler, and
They're already
You guys-
paying for this one.
Fowler's paying for Rocky Ford, so you can't get us to not pay for Rocky Ford and pay for something.
You couldn't afford it. That landfill would be about as big as this room, maybe as big as this room. No, you couldn't even afford that. The permitting, they
Really?
wouldn't give it, yeah.
Why are they doing that, just to make it hard?
Your environmental government got to jump through all the hoops.
Okay, so there's nothing screeching and hollering, it's not gonna matter. Okay, so I know a lot of people are really upset about it, but they figured, well, what's the point of even coming? Because, and I'm going, well, if we don't even try, for sure, it's gonna close. We gotta
I
at least
didn't want to
try.
close it either.
Okay,
I didn't want to either.
so what is Jimmy Baldwin doing?
Yeah.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, Lex.
A lot of people don't realize that Otero County is just one person on a 7-person board. So
Right.
Fowler, Manzanola, Rocky Ford, Swink, Shira, Lahana, they're all equal to the county as
In
far as a
governing.
voice in the government. So that's the thing, is Otero County's got a bad rap of, oh, the county closed it. Well,
Right.
it's not the county, it's the
Oakley.
whole board
Right.
that makes those decisions. And, because I used to manage the landfill, so I understand how
Uh-huh.
much of how tricky it is. But the state's regulations, granted, we are smaller than a lot of the big ones, but the state regulations now are so hard to, like, we couldn't get a new one built. I don't think we could pass. you know,
Permitting process.
The permitting process. This one is somewhat, it's approved, and our design is approved, but we can't deviate from it, because we probably couldn't afford it. And it's the only regional landfill around, so.
So when you're saying your plan, do you mean you have plans for another one if things
Nope.
ever?
We have plenty of room where we're at. So
For the
they-
one out,
For
for
the
the
one
one
Rocky
south
Ford.
of
Oh, in
Rocky
Rocky
Ford.
Ford,
Yeah,
okay, I thought we were
The one
talking
in
Manzanola.
Manzanola is,
No.
Yeah.
So-
cannot,
So
yeah.
they have a plan that's submitted to the state and approved, and once you fill that up, then you cannot use it anymore. You gotta cover it up, you gotta reclaim the land, and then luckily we have the one in Rocky Ford. And it's 30 acres are permitted now, but they own another 120 that they can
Acres.
continue.
So if it shuts, I mean, if it fills up, you can keep on going?
Yeah,
Is that what you're
Correct.
saying?
Yeah.
And that
we're permitted.
acreage,
because
that
because
acreage
we
is
have that
permitted.
acreage permitted in already.
But so Manzanola never got permitted extra acreage, is what you're saying?
We don't have any more land there.
We used up all of the land that
Did
was
you?
out
Oh.
there that was permitted.
So anything else is, somebody else owns then? Is that what you're saying?
We can't get any more permitted ground there.
Okay, so what about the dump at Fowler? Can it be reopened?
No, that was closed and we went through all the steps to close it, which was a big deal.
Uproar, you bet it was.
No, I mean, it was a big deal for Fowler to get it closed. In fact, they had the county do most of the work
So
to close
Fowler
it for
wanted
them.
those?
Yeah, they want it out from under it.
Really?
They
Yeah,
monitor those for, what, 50 years?
You don't understand what kind of money is involved.
Probably
People
not.
do not, they just don't know all the regulations and the steps that you have to go through the state and all the permits you have to pay for.
Yeah, they have little round wells out there. They go and they dip water out of them and they test it to see if anything leaked in it. If anything leaked in it, then you've got an emergency cleanup, which would cost,
Millions.
yeah, it'd probably break the county.
And they monitor the air.
Air,
too.
air,
They
those air
monitor the
monitors
air
too.
now that comes out. It's crazy.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
And I thank your federal government for that.
I was gonna say, I think the wrong people are in power.
Yeah.
So do you understand about the board that Lex was talking about?
Right, because I'd heard something about that.
Yeah.
Then it was like,
Governing-
the
So there's a
mayor,
governing-
Fowler's one of them on it, and I don't know who
He's the
else.
Fowler representative on the board.
Right.
So like you said, each town has a representative, and then the county has a representative. So one of us sits on that
So you're one
board.
of 8, or 7, however.
Right,
Correct,
Okay,
and
got
so
it.
that's the decision makers for the landfills.
Okay.
And
It's
so
not
it's- when
just
you
the
come to
county.
us and say, you're closing, it's not just us.
Well, no,
There's-
but you're
there's-
one step, I mean, you're
Yeah.
We're
one
one
of them.
person on the board.
Right.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure you
Right,
were
no, because
understanding.
Kelly at City Hall had told me something about it, but I didn't quite catch it all.
Yeah, so I just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure you were.
No, I'm not
understood
bad
all
at the
Yeah.
county per
If
se, I
if
just
you,
thought, well.
yeah, if you have more questions, I
It's
would
good.
suggest you go to the Oakley board. They're the ones that will, they oversee the landfill.
Okay. And so
Or
then-
you can ask us and we will try to answer any
Yeah, well,
questions
that's,
you have.
like I say, it's better to come and say, what in the world, instead of
Yeah.
hearing all these crazy things, and you get
Right.
all hot on the collar, and go, boy, I'm gonna,
Yeah.
and then you find out that it's not exactly,
Right,
there's, very little to it that was accurate,
right.
Yeah.
It's
Imagine that.
it would be
Yeah.
very, very expensive to keep it open.
and more expensive than
Manzanola.
it's worth, is that what you're saying? Like, would it be millions? or-
Yes,
Otero County has
Okay.
been so lucky over the years to have first the free landfills
Right,
and then the super cheap landfills. Do you have any idea what it costs to dump a load in Pueblo?
nah,
A pickup load would be anywhere from 75 to 150
is
bucks.
that right? Wow,
One pickup load.
wow, okay. So we're at about $6, you say?
yeah, yeah.
And driving 25 miles or whatever.
Right.
I mean, and you still have to drive that far in Pueblo too.
Right. Yeah, that's the trouble, is it's just so far away.
Yeah.
And so we're like, man, there's gotta be something that could be done, and, it's worth asking.
Yeah.
Instead of
Certainly.
just sitting back
Well, and
and,
getting the right answer. That's
yeah, and
what
being
we're-
mad about it, so as well say, okay, now what's going on here, and then you say, okay, that's That's it, so there's really nothing we can do except for just shut up and start driving to Rocky Fork.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
pay that little $8 pickup load fee,
Yeah,
or
I'd be
whatever
happy
it
to do
is.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
thank you very
Well,
much.
boy, I had all kinds of arguments and I didn't even get that far. Okay.
There are some private trash services too. that
Right,
rail
well, that's what I was trying to get
trash.
out of, because they're kind of expensive. You know, you say, well, $20 a month, but then times 12 is $240 a year, and that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
It is. And, you know, if you don't use it every week, well, gee, you just paid $5 for the guy to go drive around on Bayou. And so that was another thing. I know there's a lot of people maybe that can't afford that big jump. Everything went up, everything's gone up all at once. And like she was saying with that SNAP, that's going down, but groceries aren't going down, they're going up.
That's right.
So we're all getting caught by it, and so that's why I thought, well, it's worth a shot.
Yep.
And one
I
of these
agree.
days, I'm gonna win one of my tilling at windmills.
There you
Well,
go.
I'll be so surprised I won't know what to do, but hey, at least I tried.
There you go.
So now
Thank
we're-
you very much.
We were
Okay, well,
actually
thank you,
with
guys.
you. We were actually with you. We wanted to keep it open too.
Okay,
Yep.
well, thank you guys for listening and everything.
You
And,
bet.
gee, I didn't drop disc any.
There you go.
How
You did
about
good.
that?
You did good.
Okay, all right, well, thank you guys.
You bet.
I'll slink on out of here, Dan.
Okay, okay.